Guess what we have on the table here, Mr. D?
We got some toady frogs, I think.
We're going to talk about frogs and toads. And we're glad to have you, Mary.
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be talking today about these beneficial amphibians.
Okay.
And I brought some of my friends some frogs and toads, and we're going to talk a little bit about why you want them in your garden.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and pick up on that right now.
Okay, so frogs and toads are misunderstood. So they are in the group of amphibians. And amphibians have a typical life cycle that's tied to water.
All right.
So all amphibians, frogs, toads, salamanders, are going to start out as eggs laid in the water, and then they're going to go through the tadpole stage until eventually most of them come out of the water as adult frogs.
Okay.
So like I said, some of the stuff that they're misunderstood about is one of the things we get all the time is, don't pick up a toad, you'll get warts, right?
I remember that as a kid, right?
Yeah, me too. I handle toads, I don't have any warts on my hands, but that's a myth. Warts are caused by a virus, not by frogs and toads. But what that myth comes from is toads are covered with bumps and warts, and that's actually one of the ways that they protect themselves. So if, say, a raccoon or a curious dog is going up to a toad, they can actually secrete a toxin from those large glands right behind their eyes. And so that's one of the ways they protect themselves.
Interesting. Okay. Now, what kind of frogs and toads do you have for us today, though?
Okay, so basically everything can be called a frog.
Okay.
But they kind of start to break down into different families. And so I brought representatives of most of what we see in the Mid-South.
Okay, good.
So the typical frogs, like the bullfrog, leopard frog, those guys have long back legs and they leap. They're not hoppers like our true toads, have shorter, stubbier legs, lumpy and bumpy on their backs, and they hop. And then I also brought a tree frog,
which is neat.
Yeah, we were talking about tree frogs. A lot of people think they're a tropical species, but we do get tree frogs here in the Mid-South, and this is a representative, the green tree frog. And then lastly, I brought along a spadefoot, which is one that a lot of people probably have in their gardens, but they don't see them because they stay buried in their substrate most of the time.
Okay. Now let's explain to the folks, especially gardeners, how are they beneficial, though?
Great. So they're beneficial in a number of different ways. So the one that we think of and probably most gardeners appreciate is that they eat a lot of insects. So bullfrogs, for example, will eat anything that moves, anything they can fit in their mouth. And so they're really beneficial that way. But frogs and toads can absorb things through their skin. So things like pollutants, or they're susceptible to different funguses. So they can be a big indicator that something might be going on in your yard, as far as maybe you're using a pesticide or something that's affecting the amphibian population. So they can be good environmental indicators as well. And then of course, what I like about frogs and toads too, especially starting in the spring, is their sounds. And so especially warm nights, that's when we'll start to hear things like the tree frogs. And then the bullfrogs have that call where they get their name. They sound kind of like the sound of a cow or a bull, and that's how they get their names. And so springtime, it's a great chorus of frogs and toads.
Oh, sure. Mr. D, you probably hear some of those bullfrogs.
I do hear some of those bullfrogs, and I've eaten some of those bullfrogs before, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're very tasty.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Yeah. So that's what we were talking about. If you've eaten frog legs, most of the time they come from an American bullfrog because it's one of the largest frogs, native frogs that we get in North America.
Okay, it's good to know. So how do we attract those frogs and toads in our gardens?
Okay, so I have a couple tips on attracting these. And the first one is, we think about what kind of habitat are we providing. When we talk about their life cycle, they're all tied to water. So if you have some sort of water source or protecting our watersheds and our wetlands, those are definitely beneficial. Some other things you can do, I brought along here, almost all of our gardeners will have some sort of pot. Maybe it's got a crack in it, or it's not really useful anymore as a pot. You can make it into what we call a toad abode. And so what you do is, if you've got one of these clay pots and a couple nice rocks, just kind of prop it up. And that gives a little respite for the toad to hide out during the heat of the spring and summertime. If you have a pot and it has a nice hole right here, you don't even need the rocks. The toad can get in that way.
Okay. How about that? So what do y'all feed the toads and frogs out at Lichterman Nature Center?
So Lichterman Nature Center, their diet is insects and mainly crickets, and sometimes mealworms too. The toads, which a lot of our kids get a big kick out of this, sometimes are pretty good at eating in front of people. So this is an American toad, and they're looking for things that might be moving. And what they use is those kind of bulging eyes, which is another characteristic of the toads, is they have kind of these big bulging eyes versus the frogs. But they're going to use those eyes. They go into their head and help push that food to the back of their mouth.
Wow, how about that? Okay. Now, we talked a little earlier. You did mention that the bullfrogs will consume other frogs too, though, right?
That's right. Bullfrogs are really known to eat anything they can fit in their mouth. So they'll eat other frogs. They'll definitely eat a lot of insects, and they're going to eat things as large as birds as long as they can fit them in their mouth. And they're opportunist feeders, so whatever they can catch.
Whatever they can catch.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Did you see his eyes close?
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
I think that is so neat. I'm sure the kids actually enjoy that, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Wow. Now, if you were a kid and you wanted to, catch a frog or whatever, what's the best way to do that?
So the best way to do that is to look for the right environment. So I find them sometimes in my garden around the house. So you're looking for the right sort of environment. They aren't going to be in a dry field. They need some sort of moisture. And then just kind of listening for them. If you're hearing them, they're definitely around. And then you always want to let them go after you kind of observe them for a while and let them back in their environment so they can finish eating and potentially find a mate.
Okay. Because that's what we want to do, right? Find a mate?
Yeah.
So those are some of those calls that we hear, right? Some of those sounds. I mean, is that why they're making those sounds?
Absolutely. Those sounds, most of the time they're trying to attract a mate. Sometimes it's territorial, trying to keep another male away. But most of the time it's to attract a mate.
All right. So there you go, Mr. D. Those are the sounds you're hearing out there.
This toad is extremely unhappy because he just saw his buddy eat a meal, and he sees these worms over here in this little canister, and he's trying to get to them. So
yeah, let's see if we can bring him out and give him one too. But what they're doing is they're looking for movement. So he's seeing those mealworms move around, and that's what he wants.
How much can they eat, though?
Well, they'll eat quite a bit. Now, we kind of don't want to overfeed them at the Nature Center, but they're opportunist feeders, just like the bullfrog. So toads, they're going to eat maybe 8 to 10 crickets every day if you give them that many. Right. So, but they're really beneficial because they're not just eating crickets, they're eating any of the insects.
Okay. The other one bites the dust.
Yeah. Yeah, they get them pretty quick, too.
They are. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, that. Well, man, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We thank you for bringing the frogs and toads.
Thanks
keeping
for
us entertained. Yeah, they're entertaining us.
Yeah.
How about that? So we thank you much. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please click the subscribe button below.